Everyone, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm always so happy to find you here. I do upload every Thursday, so please tune in. When you subscribe, you will be alerted. So I'm always encouraging us to subscribe. It helps my channel and it also gives you the alerts. You don't have to go searching for me. Thank you all who gave comment to the three-part upload that I did on soul synchronization or soul synchronicity. And it seemed to have resonated with many people. And again, I had not intended, and I've never had before, had even a two-part. This is a series, three-part, two-part of anything, but questions came about and it just kind of pushed an interest. And so we ended up with three parts. If you haven't seen it, go to my channel and click on those. For the last 3 weeks, I uploaded a topic, feedback, and information on soul synchronicity, how we bring our souls, S-O-U-L, self-care, oneness, unity or unconditional love together. So that was that. This week, I'd like to move into the topic of trust and distrust. And congratulations are in order to, here in America, our new Supreme Court Justice, instead of nominee anymore, Ketjani Brown Jackson, who was confirmed just 10 minutes ago. I had already recorded this upload to talk about the conversation that was had between the two Seans, Sean Penn and Sean Hannity. And I'm sure by now you've heard of that sit down with them on the Hannity show just 2 days ago. It was on The View. It led topic on The View, of course, on Fox News, I think 48 Hours or something else. But there was talk about the two men sitting down together because they diabolically have different points of views. And it was a surprise that here two Seans are sitting next to each other who really don't agree on anything. The most interesting part of that interview, which lasted, I think it was 24 minutes, and I will upload it to this, I will attach the link to the entire interview in my description box. But the most important part of that conversation was the first 2 minutes. So please listen to the first 2 minutes of how these two, what I call tigers, got started in what turned out to be a very respectful, honorable conversation in this interview. And as well, I will also attach a link that I discovered just finding out that Ketjani Brown Jackson was confirmed as to the history of Supreme Court nominees. And I found that very interesting. So let me preface this. Although I'm talking about that, I am not giving a political view. I'm not giving an op-ed. I'm not doing a blog on that. I'm talking about the issue of trust or distrust, using those two situations that are hot topics right now as a point of reference. So again, I don't give political points of view, religious points of views about, you know, historical, just anything that would be outside of my genre. But I would like to use those as examples, the Sean Penn and Sean Hannity, as well as Ketjani Brown Jackson, as segues into what was already my intention to talk about, trust and distrust. Yes? We're on the same page with it? Yes? I love you. At the beginning of Sean Penn and Sean Hannity, I'm going to refer to them as Hannity and Penn because they have the same first names. Hannity starts off with when I invited you to my show, do you remember what you said to me? No, he started off with, I think it's pretty clear that 99 out of 100 times, you and I will be completely in disagreement. And Penn goes, you are absolutely right. And Hannity says, do you remember when I invited you to my show? Penn says, I do. He said, do you remember what you said? Penn says, I do. He said, what did you say? And Penn said, I said to you, I don't trust you. Hannity goes on and says, is there a reason you don't trust me? Can you share why don't you trust me? And this is the part that everyone is now talking about. Sean Penn says, there are many reasons I don't trust you. But in the scope of everything that's going on in the world today, the issue with Ukraine and Russia, COVID worldwide, in this country of America, what's going on economically and in our political front, and joblessness, a price of gas. He says, what does it matter that I don't trust you? Something like that. So just listen for yourself. And that seemed to have eased its way into what turned out to be a very respectful interview, a very respectful difference of opinion, but honoring of the difference of opinion. Now, again, I'm re-recording this because now we have Ketjani Brown Jackson confirmed. And I'm re-recording that to say, as she went through her confirmation, with her credentials and her job history and her involvement, contribution to the judicial system, all that she went through, in the end, 3 key Republicans, Mitt Romney, Lisa Murkowski, I believe, of Alaska, and first it was Susan Collins, who all what they say crossed over and said, we have no reason to not confirm her, to not endorse her, to not trust her. So having said that, I have laid my groundwork for this topic of trust and distrust, and how we can have a difference of opinion, a different perspective, a different perception, a different upbringing about things that have been critical to us in our lives, that shaped who we are today, our religion, our politics, our belief systems, our morality, and all of those lack thereof, which may be different from someone else. But they become cornerstones. And it is hard for us to sit across from someone else with a differing opinion and have what the two Seans had as a respectful conversation. Let me hear what you have to say about this topic. It is hard for us to go through the fire that Ketjani Brown Jackson went through to be confirmed on credentials that were outstanding. This is what I mean by trust and distrust when there is no really solid reason, or if there is, can you explain yourself in such a way that I could at least hear your point of view? And that is difficult for most of us. That is difficult in the workplace when I don't agree with the team member, or my own boss, or the way we're moving about something, the decisions we made on something, the policy that got in the way, the historic policy that needs to be updated. Same with the Senate confirmation. We've been using that same process since 1700 kind of thing. All of that would not make us forward progress in our thinking process. Forward progress in our thinking process. We're stifled if we have a different point of view as to how we were our upbringing. It is hard for us to change to the other side, like those three Republicans did. They made history with Ketjani Brown Jackson. They made history too. So when we discover a new balance within ourselves that is different than what we thought we knew for all these years, can we have the strength of character to make a hard decision of change? And can we verbalize that like the two Seans did? Can I sit across from you knowing that 99 out of 100 times I'm going to disagree with you, but still be heard by you and you by me? Respectfully, and you by me. Differences don't have to end in a powwow. You or I can be evolving, could be developing, could be called forth in our perspective, which is why we are expanding in our consciousness. But what happens is those around us want to keep the borders that's been around us so that we can't branch out and learn more, particularly in those tough arenas: politics, religion, justice. It's so hard for us to even voice an opinion without someone saying, where are you getting your new belief system? Where are you learning that? And challenging it when it may not be your truth yet. It is your discovery zone. You're discovering new things. And so when we get stifled, held up, inertia, neutralized, there's no movement, there's no growth, there's no forward progress, there's no progress. We're stuck. And who wants to be such a way? We should all be expanding. Yes? This is why many times we can't even get ourselves ready for that Thanksgiving dinner when Uncle Charles is coming or Uncle Henry's coming with their points of view about politics. He's a Republican and I'm a Democrat and we're going to go at it. And last time we argued, we can't even do that. Now, Thanksgiving is about gratitude, but it's one of the #1 holidays where most people find that drudgery of having to deal with who might be there. Same thing at work. Oh, I don't want to work with that person. Oh, they're so negative. And all of that. There were a couple of posts that I did before when I said sometimes it's us that has to accommodate that Uncle Charlie or that person at work because they're stuck in themselves. You're the one who's open. You're the one who's expanding. You're the one who's growing. You're the one who's discovering. You're the one who's understanding that there's more to politics, your upbringing, your morality, your workplace, and your religion than you thought, you think, you knew. So don't be fearful. Don't be fearful to learn and to be able to sit across like those two Seans did and respectfully say your point of view. By the way, Sean Penn is co-founder with a woman, I think her name is Ann, what's her last name? I think it's Taylor, of CORE. one of the greatest humanitarian nonprofits there is. And he had been in Ukraine doing a documentary well before the Ukraine-Russia situation happened, months before. And one of the comments that he made that everyone's talking so much about is he said something like, when you go to a country and you see exhibited true unity, you realize what you've been missing in your own. So here we are, the United States of America, still divided. This is not political. This is talking about trust. The perception of who we are and the reality of who we are by what we do might be different. This is what I'm talking about. How do we trust one another, or if we do or not? And so when we are faced with an opportunity to present ourselves, as Ketjani Brown Jackson did on all these confirmation hearings, or to sit across somebody who we're in opposition for, the power to use our voice as we're expanding in our own consciousness about these large things, religion, politics, social economics, issues of the world. Let's bring our kind self to the table. And if needed, be able to express our more vocal self and stand our position without the attack. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? I have learned to be assertive. I was always typically this one. And I had to find in the mirror of my own self, this one, who only comes out as needed, maybe 20% of the time. But it depends on who I'm talking to. And for you, we all have something, what I say is the king or queen of ourselves, to be able to come out and defend our positions properly, our opinions properly, and still be trusted to be kind. Yes? Yes. So let us all move forward. Let us all appreciate the progress we've made. But you know, we can speed it up a little bit. We can have a little bit more forward progress by having the courage to say that what I knew before may be different than the reality of today. And it's okay for me to expand in my consciousness without your attack, without your interference, without your judgment. And let that be okay too. And I love you. Namaste. Bye, y'all. Bye.